Yeah, we're really excited because I think I spoke to you. Did you call my show? This was before Jesse and I were together when I was a solo jock, all chilling in the midday by myself.
So I have so many funny stories because in my head, like we're best friends. The three of us have known each other.
Good. We are, Danielle. We are.
I was like, wait a second. I know this name. I feel like she's been with me since I first arrived in Ottawa.
Yeah, no, I'm on the journey with you, Jenna. So I've called in when you guys were on Jump 106.9. Like I don't even listen to that station anymore. I'm like, the best is gone. Like what's the point?
What station? I've never heard of that.
Exactly. But I follow you both on Instagram. And so like you'll be traveling or whatever. I'm like, oh, Jenna, it looks beautiful. Like take lots of pictures, have a good time. Cause like in my head, we're best friends. Right. And so like I have all these like little stories. I'm like, yeah, Jesse and Jenna. And people are like, do you know them? I'm like, no.
You do now. You do
now. And we gave a lot of our personal life to you. And now in turn, you're giving a little bit back to us.
Is she ever?
Right? And this is why I like the one thing I always miss from radio is that opportunity to really connect one-on-one with listeners, which we don't get on the podcast that often until brave souls like yourself decide to grace us with your presence.
That's right. Danielle is a listener letter writer, but she actually has the tough titties, the big balls, whatever you want to call it, to come and face us on the podcast. So thank you, Danielle, because so many of our cowardly writers won't come on and face us.
Sometimes they don't even respond to our emails.
Yeah.
But I will say that the two people that did decide to come on our podcast, the listener letters, both of them are women. And both of them are women of color.
That's right. Danielle and Wendy.
Right.
That's right.
I'm not surprised. My mom tells me all the time. So my parents are Guyanese. They're from the Caribbean. And so my mom
dated a Guyanese man.
I'm so happy you know where it is. Most people are like, what part of Africa are you from? I'm like,
right. No.
Well,
I think they get it confused with the Guyana.
Yeah. You know. Too many G's. But she's always like, you have no shame. Like, what are you doing? You have no shame. I'm like, no, I don't. I have one life to live and I'm going to do it my way. So get on board.
Oh, Danielle, we are best friends. That is our motto. And 100%, I think more people need to live their life that way. As Jenna drools wine.
I totally spilled it all down my shirt.
I'm a spiller, so I feel you.
Right.
It is all about the YOLO.
So you wrote into us, and Jesse's going to start this episode by reading the letter. Yes. And then we'll dive right into it because, girl, I have been there.
And we have questions. And that's the best part about you being here is that we can ask. You've heard so often when we get these listener letters, we have questions. We're like, well, why this? What happened? How many toes did he have? And it's like, we don't have those answers. Right. Tonight we will.
Too.
I also think it's
listening.
Yeah, it's also an important discussion because as online dating changes because of COVID, I feel like your situation is more likely to happen.
It's going to happen more and more, for sure.
Right. Happened before. I know that for a damn truth.
Mm-hmm.
As the voice of Match.com.
Well, yeah.
If you're single and not dating on Match, then listen up. God, they got a lot out of that.
They did.
I remember those commercials.
See? It's a great voice.
They paid me a good amount of money for it,
So, and she's not yet working in the sex industry. It blows my mind too.
I know.
Well, okay. Let me just read the letter because I was about to start going off into my opinion because I'm part of me is on the guy's side.
This is why he never reads the letters.
I'm about to read the letter. Okay. I'm reading it this episode, Danielle, because it's a special occasion. Would you rather Jenna read it because she always reads them?
No, you go.
Okay,
thank
you.
You read the letter.
Subject line: doing the creep spelt like creep
Another reason he doesn't read the letters.
Okay,
it's going to be a 5-hour episode at this rate.
Here I go. Hi, Jesse and Jenna. Okay, so I'm having a small creeper moment, and I need to know if this is too far over the line or if it's just okay enough to let it go and let God. Testify! Okay, here's the story. I matched with a guy on Bumble and I thought we really hit it off. We spoke for a few hours and then I went to bed. Hey, maybe Danielle should be reading this.
No, keep going. You're already in it.
But it's her letter.
Just read.
No,
Danielle?
keep going.
Okay. So I went to bed. We spoke for several hours and then I went to bed. Sorry, see, I'm repeating myself. Okay, now the direction of the conversation left me with the impression that we would be speaking again. But when I woke up in the morning, his profile had been deleted off Bumble.
Ba, ba, ba.
Now, over the course of our conversation, I discovered that we had a mutual friend. So I asked that friend about him and got a last name, which of course left me to finding him on Instagram. Yeah. So do I assume he ghosted me and let Casper go? Or do I send a message and see if his profile got deleted? Is that far too creepy? Am I being too naive? What should I do?
So you sent us that email, what, like 4 or 5 days ago, I think. It's been a while. Before Jesse dives into his opinion, now that you've written us that email, how do you feel right now about the situation? And have you done anything?
I haven't done anything. Personally, I feel like it's a little funny at this point because a couple of reasons. One,
Funny haha or funny like the way my grandma uses it? Like that's a bit
no, like,
funny.
funny haha.
Okay.
Because at this point, and like this might just be my girl brain, and maybe guys don't think like this, but he knows we have a mutual friend. He could have also reached out to the friend and been like, hey, my account got deleted. I knew this. Hook, can you give me her information? So at this point, I'm like, you're missing out on all of this. Like that's on you. So
Right. Which is 100% true. Also, you know his profile did not get fucking deleted.
Well, yeah, so let's start there.
He deleted it.
What do you mean when you say it was deleted in the morning? Like it was just gone?
So it just said, so the whole conversation is still there, but it just says account deleted where his name used to be.
But is it like on, because I don't have Bumble because, you know, I'm not welcome, but is it like Facebook where if somebody blocked or deleted you, the conversation would be gone, it wouldn't exist?
Yes. If somebody blocks you or unmatches with you, the whole conversation
It's
disappears.
gone.
Yeah. And you get like a little notification being like, it just didn't work out.
Okay, so he didn't do that. Wait, no, you have to wait. Because when I first read this, I thought maybe he's a romantic and maybe your phone call was so great that he thought he found the one and he's like, I don't need Bumble anymore.
That's what I was going to say. Not only that, but men work on a lot slower clock than us females do. We got shit, responsibilities, lots of stuff to do. Men work slow. So for us, if we have this amazing, if we were a woman in the man's shoes, we would have texted them the next day, as soon as we woke up.
Yep.
But a man,
which is how I discovered that it was deleted, because I was like, let's
right. But a man is like, I'm going to take my time. And sometimes he doesn't even think about you. And it doesn't mean he doesn't like you. I mean, I've been with a guy now for just over 3 months. And sometimes I write to him. He doesn't respond to me for 5 hours. I learned to realize that it's not because he doesn't want to. It's because he literally just is doing other things. His mind is other places.
Right.
He may see my message and be like, I'll respond to her in a bit and then forget. It's just a lot of men tend to be aloof. And this might be a situation where he's like, oh, I'm totally going to get in contact with her. Or maybe, what did you talk about? Wait, wait. We need to know what
poor Danielle. Like, look, this is maybe why we don't have our listeners on, because I can see she's like, can I just, and we're both like,
I love this.
So, yes. So start with the deleted profile, and then we'll get into the content of the conversation, because do you think he deleted, because it's been 4 or 5 days, so obviously this theory we have is not true.
Right. So, I mean, there's two options. Either he deleted his account or he was being a very bad little boy with somebody else and he broke the rules of conduct and his profile got deleted.
How does that happen on
Now, wait a minute.
apps?
Yeah. Dumb that down for us.
Okay. So when you sign up for a dating app, there's like certain things that are like, don't be disrespectful. Don't like be rude, be kind. Like there's a whole list of them. And at any time, somebody can report you if you break any of those rules.
Did you get that vibe from him though? That he was a creeper or a...
No, but you know how you meet someone, you're like, they're great. And then 2 years later, you find out they've been murdering women and burying them in their backyard. Like,
true.
You never know.
Sometimes it takes 14 years. That's fine. Yeah.
But I do feel like if he got kicked off for something, whatever he would have done, he would have taken off. Like I said to Jesse before when we were talking about this, I said, my brief stint on dating apps, it was not long nor.
What? I thought you were the voice of Match.com.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it works. Give them your money. But it did not take me very long into a conversation that was going as well as what yours sounds like for us to exchange phone numbers or at least WhatsApp. And then transition, like that's what I found is when you met a guy that you liked and you like the look of each other is usually what it comes down to at first. Yeah. It didn't take very long. So my whole thing is, why did he not give you a phone number, or why did he not ask for your phone number? Maybe he did while you guys were having this conversation. So I need to know what your conversation was like. Was it a sexy conversation?
It was not a sexy conversation. It was not a sexy conversation. What caught my eye was his pictures, obviously. He was doing an activity. Because I want to keep him as anonymous as possible because it's not really about him.
Don't tell us it was fishing. If it was fishing, Danielle, I'm hanging up.
No, it wasn't fishing.
Okay,
no.
Great.
He was doing an activity that caught my eye. And so we started talking about our favorite famous people who do this activity. And we were talking about like his sister's wedding and siblings and like just general information about life, because I'm someone who like, I thrive off a good conversation. Like that's my love language, is conversation.
That's why she loves the podcast.
I listen all the time, right? Because if you talk to me and I can talk back and like we get to know each other, to me, that's like, it's the first step in building intimacy. So if we can't have a conversation at the beginning, we really have nowhere to go.
Right. And dating apps like are so quick to have no conversation. Like just, hey, how are you? How are you? What do you do for a living?
What are you
Where do you like
for?
to go? Do you really like reading?
Right. And my initial message on my dating profile to everybody is the same. It's like, hi, insert name here. I'm not really a big fan of small talk, but if you're down for a good conversation, hit me up. If not, like, do as you will. Ball's in your court at that point.
That's smart marketing, girl.
Yeah. Like right up front, like if you can't talk, don't talk to me. So yeah, no, we had like a pretty lengthy conversation, and it's not as easy these days when you've never met somebody to carry on a conversation for hours at a time. And we talked for like a good 4.5 hours. Oops.
Wow.
Yeah.
In a row.
Mm-hmm.
So besides the common thing between the celebrities that you guys talked about, which is so secretive, which I also feel like would unlock a good part of where he's coming from. Mm-hmm. But besides that, what else did the conversation get romantic anyway? And I'm talking about like sexting, or did you talk about love languages? Did you talk about past relationships? Did you get that deep?
So yes. So I asked him how long he'd been single, and he hasn't been single very long. So I'll give him that.
That's very long though, because that's
2 months.
Yeah, no, that's not long at all.
That's not very long.
You're still in that relationship.
2 months. And so I asked him point blank, I was like, do I have to be worried? Like, is this something that you're going to be running back to? Because like, I don't do that. And he's like, no, it was a long time coming. You know,
so you, by saying that, you said like what your intentions are immediately by saying that. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And so we were talking about, because I'm an event planner by schooling, by trade. Anyways, I'm an event planner. So he was talking about his sister's wedding, and I was giving him like ideas because super cute. He's going to be the maid of honor. And right, isn't that adorable?
Totally.
Anyways, I digress. So I was like, oh,
you sure he's not on my team, Danielle?
No, he's not on your team. I checked with our mutual friend.
Oh, okay.
So we're talking about this, and he's like, oh, like, how will I ever repay you? And I'm like, well, like, I take checks. And he's like, how about some cuddles? Or, you know, like, it got a little sexy at that point, but nothing like crazy dirty. Okay. And yeah, and then
at least it was flirtatious.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, if it didn't get at least a little flirtatious in 4.5 hours, that could be why he ghosted, but it did.
You're also like the worst sense of judgment because he's on a conversation with a guy for a minute and it's dick pics back and forth.
But that's how it works in my world.
Right.
It's different. It's different. But I know, because my world is man on man, that even a straight man wants to get there sooner than later.
Exactly.
So the mutual friend, I think that's like quite important too. This mutual friend knows this person knows him in person, right?
Yes.
Because I've been binge watching Catfish.
Okay.
MTV show. And this kind of reminded me a bit of Catfish.
Oh, that it could be the mutual friend?
The only thing is that you have a mutual friend, but I don't know if that mutual friend has met this person in person, because what I learned on Catfish, because what I learned
in person, the mutual friend said he was cute, tall, nice guy.
Okay. Because I was like, sometimes it just, like I there would be episodes where they would get hooked up, but they were like, yeah, I've never met them in person. And I was like, really? So no one's seen this person?
I know, it's crazy. Danielle, did you figure out if he got kicked off because he violated a rule, or you never? I realized we never. You don't know. You still don't know.
That's what she needs to know now is whether she reaches out now and goes above and beyond, because the internet's a glorious thing when you want to stalk someone.
It is.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like in this day and age, because I'm someone who, like, if I'm not interested, I'll just tell you, like, super flattered, but not for me. But I feel like we hide behind the keyboard all the time. And like, it's 2021. I can find you. And that we have a mutual friend. What's the point in ghosting me?
But that's what I don't understand.
Maybe though.
I don't understand.
Maybe
tell me.
He is one of these men that believes in the good old chase.
Who's chasing who though? Now he wants her to chase him?
But remember, like, remember back in the day, and I think we are around the same age, right? Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and like when you were young and at the beginning of university, like if you wanted a guy, you'd play that cat and mouse game. But then everything.
I'm not in university anymore.
I know, but everything changed and it became online, where everything became then too easy. So maybe he's like resorting back and being like, maybe I do want to like take it easy and like wait a week till I connect with her.
But why delete his whole profile? Oh, maybe because he was so into her that he wants to send that signal.
No. The only other reason I can think of, unfortunately, and I don't want to be a bitch at all, because
is that he went back to the girlfriend?
I love you, is either one, he went back to the girlfriend, or the girlfriend caught him and deleted the app for him.
Dun, dun, dun.
Right?
I never even thought about that.
Or number two, maybe he just like, because I've done this many times, is having great conversation with someone is one thing, but like actually connecting. And then I just sometimes just realize I don't want this dating app life, and I just delete it for no reason, with no explanation, and just cut off the people I've been talking to because of, which is awful. But sometimes you just are like, this is not the time for me. And you don't know, and you don't know what state of mind he's in getting into this dating app. What are his intentions on being in this dating app? Is it to date? Is it to heal a wound from a breakup? Whatever it may be, right? So I think you just need to reach out to him. And I don't think it's going to be stalkery. I think the only reason you think it's like creepy is because you in your mind thinks it's creepy. But on the outside, I don't think it's going to be. If you're just like, hey, we had such a great conversation, you disappeared, and I was wondering what happened. Let me know.
Yeah, I don't think it's creepy either. I think we've been conditioned as women that if we ask for what we want, it's automatically needy.
Right. Yes.
I don't need you.
And any guy that's not into it will automatically go there. Oh, look at this needy bitch. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not a fan of being put in that category, because that's not me.
You're a writer too, aren't you?
Yes,
you're a writer. And like, what kind of writing do you do?
Poetry, short stories.
Right. So you love to like understand people's emotions and feelings, and maybe that's what's drawing you to this.
And I'm an empath.
Exactly.
Is like I feed off. Yeah.
It's driving you nuts that he cut off and you don't know why.
Exactly. It's the closure. It's all about the closure in my brain.
It's nothing to do with him.
It's all about in here.
Yeah, like in my short-lived dating dabbling since I've been single, I have realized that I'm somewhat of a ghost and I'm not proud of it. But the reason I'm a ghost is because if you have a great conversation with someone, or sometimes even if you chit chat for a week or two, or even if you have a date and it's not a head over heels date, sometimes it feels like the relationship, for lack of a better term, is not worth the big breakup talk. It's like, and it almost makes me feel embarrassed that I would think it is worthy of that kind of talk. So it's easier to just ghost than to be like, hey, I don't think I'm into this, which is such a shitty thing to do. But I think a lot of straight guys feel that way.
Well, we've argued over this too. And I'm like, it's not about having a deep conversation with someone to end something that never was. It's about just mutual respect. It's like if you plan to meet someone for lunch and you can't make it, do you just let them sit there and wait? No, you say,
let them know.
I'm sorry, I can't make it. I had a last minute meeting, even if it's 20 minutes before where you're supposed to meet, you know, like.
Right. Let's hear from Danielle.
Right.
But I also think ghosting and I think it depends on who does it, but on some level is based in insecurity. And I say that because there are times when I've like matched with somebody, or I'm on a site where you don't have to match in order to message someone. And somebody will message me and I'm like super flattered that you reached out. Like, I hope you find what you're looking for, but I'm not really interested. And I have gotten hostile responses to like not being interested in someone. Like, straight guys can be very vicious at times.
Well, because let's be honest, they're not used to rejection.
Exactly. It's like a bruised ego. And the first thing is to lash out. And I'm like, you know that you messaged me, right? Like I'm not.
But when that happens, don't you feel like validated that like, oh, I'm glad I didn't pick you because look what happens when you get pissed off.
When you're mad. Yeah.
I think too, that's why women get scared to say like, I'm like you just said, I'm not interested in you.
Yeah.
Like I remember I said that,
situation.
yeah, I said that to a guy I was really hot and heavy on the dating app, like off the dating app with. And then all of a sudden I was just like, one day I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I just like ghosted. And then he like messaged. And then finally I was like, look, sorry, I just had like a change of heart. I'm going through emotional shit is what I said, or some stupid shit.
Yeah, because guys don't take no well. I don't know why, but they don't. So they either lash out, they try
Especially white men. Especially white men.
Yeah, they try and convince you, they lash out, or they just like, oh, whatever. I never even wanted you anyways. I'm like,
yeah,
really? Because I have 3 months of text messages that tell a different tale, sir. But yes, especially white men. And if I get one more message that says, I've heard Black girls are insert explicit here.
This is you. Go ahead.
You get it, right, Jenna? You get it. Like, oh, I've heard Black girls do that. I've always wanted to try. I'm like, then get yourself a prostitute. What does that have to do with me?
The whole fetishizing of minority women or mixed minority women in my case is kind of repulsive and disgusting. Right? Like it's really gross.
They get mad if you're like, I'm not really into like fulfilling your fantasy. They're like, oh, well, shouldn't we be over racism by now? Shouldn't we be flattered? I'm like, no, I'm not flattered.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dating is rough. It's hard out here.
It really is. And I can only imagine what dating is like now during the pandemic. Like you have to selectively choose who you meet in person. So this online connection is so important, which you had, which is why I think it's worth. So the worst thing is you send a message. So like you don't follow him necessarily on Instagram. So if you send him a message, it's going to go in his requests.
That's true.
Right? So you can choose to do. And when he chooses, well, you know your answer.
I agree with Jenna because
what? See that? Hold on.
One more time, Jesse.
I had fluff in my ear.
I also agreed that we're putting pickles on our pizza tonight. I never said it was a good idea, but we're doing it. And I agree because I don't like this idea that women, or everybody, but women for this argument, get ghosted and they can't call them out, or they feel like if they message them and say, hey bitch, I know you ghosted me, then all of a sudden you're needy, like you said, or you're desperate. No, it's just about having manners and respect. So call them out.
I'm really big on the mutual respect.
And if it's over anyway, what have you got to lose?
But I also don't think like calling out is such a harsh word too, right? Yeah. Like,
and I'm not calling him out. If you ghosted, you ghosted. At least I'll have my response. but just like, come
Just
on.
let me know. Like, I had a great conversation with you. It ended out of nowhere. I would love to have continued. It's like when you go on a vacation to a resort and you
Yeah.
meet this guy and you have like amazing time at the bar, and then you go home at the end of the night, not together. And then you wake up in the morning and you're like, I really hope I see him again. I really hope I see him again. That's
Yeah.
what this is. If
Pretty
you can
much.
find him, which
But online.
right, which is no different anymore. It's probably easier to find a guy online than it is to find a guy in a Mexican resort.
It is way easier.
Mhm.
Now, listen, there are always rarities, and I'm not saying that this is the case, but we have to remember there are things that could have happened. Like, one thing that comes to mind is, do you think that your conversation was so great that he respects you to a level that is higher than what he's looking for? Like, maybe he was just looking for a hookup and he's like, hey, this is actually a decent woman. I don't want that. I just want a floozy. There's that.
All things are possible.
Or maybe
not
his
closing
mom
my
died.
mind to any option.
Maybe
You never know.
his cat died, his dog died, his aunt died. I mean,
You
it
never
all
know.
happened.
You really never know. Which is why I wrote the letter, because I'm like, I need more
Yeah.
perspective than my own.
I think we've come to like a pretty good plan out of this conversation. Maybe it's just us thinking it, but
I think we're just as confused as Danielle.
I think you're going to send him a message saying, hey, we had such a great convo, like super nice, super light, super fluffy, and see where it goes from here on out.
Hey, what is
I
the
feel like
mutual?
now I have to.
You have to, because we want to follow up, number one. But number two, what does the mutual friend think?
I haven't discussed it with him any further.
Oh, it's a him. It's a him.
Is it also like how
Ah.
good of a mutual friend is it? Like for you?
Okay. So at first, the person I was speaking to online, he was like, oh yeah, super nice guy. Like I know him really well. And then the mutual friend was like, I don't think I know him. And hold on. But then we discovered he does know him. So but he does know him.
So he just
So-
forgot his name because he didn't know him that
Yeah.
well.
Initially, yeah.
Right.
But in their interactions, nice guy.
Right.
So,
Okay, great. But it's like he laid it on a little thick, maybe. Because if anybody said to me, Jenna, there would never be a moment of, I don't think I know a Jenna. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Like,
Right.
you know.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So, wow. Okay.
They're like a third bubble friend.
third bubble.
If you could have
Yeah.
3 bubbles, they're a third bubble
They're
friend.
a third bubble friend.
Well, Danielle, yeah, so I guess before we go, we don't get a chance to ever do follow-ups. So like, what are you going to do going forward?
I think
And we're going to hold you to it.
no, I'm gonna send the message and then I'll send you a follow-up email. I will tell
Please.
you
Yeah.
what happens from here, but I will definitely follow up with him and see what happens. Because
Now-
you never know, right? The worst thing that happens is I end up exactly where I am right now and like
Yeah.
I'm okay. So
Preach. Got to risk it to get the biscuit.
Amen. Are you interested in pursuing things with him if he comes back with some half decent excuse?
Well, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you are, girl. It's lonely times right now. We're in COVID.
But here's the thing, flip side, what is a half decent excuse? Because I spent a very long time in a relationship with a narcissistic, manipulative addict. So when people lie to me, even online, I'm like, you're lying. I can tell that you're lying.
But see, that's even better for me. You're right. And it's good to be vulnerable, but I think you're in a better position now because if you've already decided that you're not into this guy because of what happened, you might as well just find out what happened.
Also,
Yes,
maybe he's slightly intimidated of you.
maybe. He also, side note, he is a couple years younger.
And you're very intelligent and very confident in yourself. So maybe that's slightly intimidating as another woman
Yeah.
who does come off as difficult or intimidating. Maybe that just
Isn't
might
that such an annoying classification.
so
though?
or bossy. I was like, I've never heard a man get called bossy.
They
in my
call me
life.
bossy all the time.
But seriously, maybe he's so intimidated too. Maybe he's like, oh my God, a woman like as intelligent and accomplished and beautiful as she is, what does she want in
And then I went
me?
on a podcast and put him on blast.
And we
Yeah,
love you
Bob,
for
we
it.
know your real name, Bob.
Oh, what was he? Was he white, black, Asian? We never got.
Doesn't matter.
No, but I'm curious. I'm just curious.
What do you think, Jesse?
Well, the reason that made me think of that question earlier was when y'all were generalizing black guys. So I'm gonna
White
guess
guys. You mean white guys.
or white guy. I'm gonna guess he's a white guy.
He is, yes.
Okay.
And again, we're not trying to generalize, but he may be intimidated by a strong, beautiful black woman.
Maybe.
And
I
as a
just, like,
girl who went to school in Alabama, I was very intimidated of y'all as well.
and you know what? Like in this current climate, I feel like people are like, ooh, I don't know, like how much can I handle? I want to be an ally, but I don't know how. And so, you never know where he is
Yeah.
headspace wise.
But what's the shame in telling you? Or like I was saying earlier, if his mom or sister died, that's fine. Be like, hey, Danielle, my mom died. I need a break for 3 weeks. I'm sure you would
Right.
understand.
Men don't
would.
like to communicate like that,
would.
though.
Yeah, that's the thing, eh? They don't.
They just don't. They like to suppress their feelings and try to deal with it on their own.
Unhealthy. Like let it
Right.
out. Just
Right.
like talk about it. It's okay. I'm not going to judge you. Do you? But don't keep it bottled up because then I worry about you because
Right.
it's not healthy. Like it's okay to not be okay.
Exactly. That's a great little lesson there to
Kumbaya, my lord. Okay, final
to not
question,
be
Danielle.
okay.
Yes.
Is Bumble a good app for single women out there? Is that the best one? Have you tried them all?
Did you just see the founder? She just became one of like the first female billionaires under.
Oh,
a
well, that
certain
answers
age
that.
because of it.
I like Bumble because the woman has to make the first move.
You would
Yes,
again because you like to take it. I
do.
I pretend to be like you. I pretend to be like you, but I'm not.
Well,
Deep down
here's
You're
my
inside.
soft
thing.
and pink.
Here's my thing. We've all accidentally swiped at least once.
I've never.
If I swipe accidentally,
Maybe.
I don't have to initiate the conversation because you
Oh, I
can't
see.
message me
Yeah.
until I message you. So
Right.
those
Okay.
accidental swipes, you just let them expire.
Right. When your friend grabs your phone and is like, I like him, I don't like him. Oh, wait, he was really hot. Can I go back?
$3.99 a month. Yeah.
Not the same taste.
Well, I think I know Danielle's real aim of coming on this podcast. She thinks we're a matchmaking service. Not a bad idea. Not a bad
I
idea.
wish we were because we'd make a lot more money.
My whole aim is to get to talk to Jenna and Jesse.
Oh, girl.
That's it.
Right.
Well, we'll take that. I won't
And
argue.
cheers. So we can't wait for your follow-up. Maybe we'll do a
We'll
part
let you know what
2
happens.
episode.
Yeah, a little quick follow-up.
Yes. Good luck.
Thank you.
If you
And
need
thanks for
someone to
having
edit
me.
your message, let me know.
I will.
Actually, he's the wordsmith.
All right. Cheers, Danielle.
Cheers.